You already see what's on the screen, man. Stephen A. Smith, $1 million worth of game, full podcast reaction. You know what's Stephen A. Smith. And if you don't know $1 million worth of game, the name is self-explanatory, and you're about to find out right now. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and let's get straight to it.
Come out, called Straight Shooters, a memoir of second chances and first takes is going down. You know, he had a lot of second chances in his journey. I'm talking about the thing about this too. You listen, January 17th, he's doing a book signing in Ridgewood, New Jersey. I mean, it's going to be at Bookends.
Hey,
make sure you're there. He signed 20,000 books already. And listen, check out his podcast, No Mercy. The thing about this podcast, it come out
If y'all in New Jersey, man, you could go get your book signed and state out your grievances against Stephen A. Smith and get all his takes.
That's a lot of work in the podcast game, bro.
Tell me about it. I'm just learning that.
That's a lot of work.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
I didn't know.
Listen, that's a lot of work. But, you know, he's going to talk about his journey, man. This book, he talk about his ups and downs, man. He was in Philly. He was in Philly for a while, baby. Yes. He was doing his thing. He had to stop in Philly. Yeah, but he just was doing his thing, and he out here, man, and he just killing the game, man. And we happy to have you here. You know what I mean? You're a sports legend. Either way it go, you know what I mean? I heard you ain't had no game, though. Right. I heard my record was a little stronger than yours when I played ball.
They can pop that shit all they want to. When they won the court against me, they didn't feel that way. But I wasn't no pro, I'll admit that.
It is. Sources say. Sources said that.
Hey, he got to college. A lot of people in college really could hoop. So compared to the regular person, college players could hoop.
Record against yours was a little better. You went to Winston-Salem. I went to Penitentiary University. My stats was a little stronger than yours. A little better. You went to Winston-Salem. I went to Penitentiary University. My stats was a little stronger than yours. I was defensive player of the year, and they said you was coming off the bench too.
Well, hell yeah, I was coming off the bench. I cracked my kneecap and had my first year, man. So I ain't had much of a college career, but I was good enough to get a basketball scholarship and a full ride, despite the fact I was playing on one leg. So I don't know how many people can top that.
Oh, see, he hyping it up. We don't got no stats. We don't got no stats.
Ain't no stats. That's what I'm saying. I cracked my kneecap and I ain't had no stats.
Hey, he can sell us.
Hey, he just like me.
Cross him over.
He can tell us anything. Anybody, you never knew nobody get a fully paid scholarship on one leg with a half a knee. And 3 of my toes ain't work.
Listen, little Bobby on Jackson State crossed him over, broke him down. That's probably what happened. You know.
Please,
was it crossover?
Maybe it might have been.
That wasn't me though. I ain't get crossed over. I don't know about. I ain't talking for him. Talking for me, I ain't get crossed over.
I'm playing the fifth.
You know, shout out to all the HBCUs out there, man. Right. Much love to y'all, man. Jackson State always. Yeah. But like, you know, as we go, I got a beef with you too, because KD my man.
I chose to leave. I ain't want to hoop no more, bro. I want to do basketball training. I want to do this stuff I do right here. What are we doing in this video? I want to do this stuff right here. Express some game.
Okay, cool.
KD, you stay on my man. That's my man.
Whatever beef you have, I'm here.
That's my man. I'm just saying, that's my man. I ain't going for that. You gonna stop for this day forward, KD? He gonna stop it. We gonna have a talk on the side.
I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about. I think when healthy is the best on the planet.
Okay, all right.
That's what I said. I mean, it's been on the record.
Okay. It's on the record, but you do be grinding him up a little bit too.
Top three in my opinion. Top 3.
You do grind him up here and there, though.
Well, you know what? That, to me, it's not even in his game per se, man. It's just that when you're that surreal, when you that big time, man, you can't tolerate some BS. You got cats around you that ain't doing the job. You got to make sure you hold them accountable. It can't be like, yo, man, I just want to have a good time. I just want to play the right way. Hell with that. You're a 2-time champion, 2-time NBA Finals MVP, one of the greatest scorers in the history of basketball. I mean, you got to hold cats accountable. That's the position that you're in, because you can't do it by yourself. You got to make sure they're doing their damn job.
Well, he didn't know it was going to be a COVID protocol. Well, you know Kyrie wasn't coming to work.
I feel you on that, but when that happens, it's adjustment. Now, me personally, I've been on the record. I said this. I'll say this in front of y'all right now, because I know y'all some real cats. Here's the deal. Vaccine is vaccine. I got all that. You don't want to take the vaccine. So Isaiah Thomas was getting on me one day, and Kyrie dropped like 50 on Orlando last year. And Isaiah was like, yo, you see that, Stephen A? I called him the next morning. I said, appreciate you, bro. So I said, look,
Thursday,
Isaiah, if Kyrie Irving was on your team and there was a chip on the line, what would you have done? He started laughing. He said, we'd have tied his ass up. We'd have gave him the vaccine our damn self. He'd have been pissed off, but he would have been eligible to play. I said, thank you. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, it's about the chip. This is what we going for. Get over it.
Hey, bro. The years are limited. The years are limited, bro. So Kyrie let a whole season go by because he didn't want to get a vaccine. If I'm a teammate, if I'm KD, I would be heating my damn self. I'll be getting my damn self.
I said it then. I'm saying it now. I'll say it 10 years from now. I ain't backing up from that position one bit.
But I don't think KD just didn't say it, but he felt it. He wasn't gonna go out in the media and bash Kyrie for not taking the vaccine. I think he was just holding it in. He was being media trained. He ain't gonna say all the things he's feeling. He's just gonna be like, all right, let Kyrie do his thing. He probably had his conversations with Kyrie. That's the things we never gonna see. But at the end of the day, KD's just not gonna air out how he's feeling completely.
And now, I would say this: everybody got their own choice,
right? The
choice of life and how to live.
Sure.
So he's strong about that, and his life is more important than the game or the team or whatever. So teach his own. Ain't nobody wrong, ain't nobody right.
That shows you what Kyrie stands for, regardless of how people perceive him as and what people tell him not to do and whatnot. He still ain't get the vaccine. He stood tall on what he was. You got to stand firm on who you are.
I will say this.
Death before dishonor.
I'm not a sports guy too much. You know what I mean? I had a game back when I was young. I could have went to the league. I played football, baseball. I mean, a lot of places you went to Cabrini College. Stop that shit. You went to a bum college. Nobody know that college. So don't even count that. So, but what I do know certain stuff. And I did my reading on some stuff, and I said, okay, outside of Michael Jordan,
just like that,
who's the second greatest player that ever played basketball?
Me personally, if you're talking resume, it would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If you're talking skill, to me, it's LeBron James.
It's without a doubt. If we're talking skill, it's LeBron
James. I think LeBron James is the second greatest player in the history of basketball.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. LeBron James is the second greatest player.
He's better than Kobe?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Why is he better?
It hurts me to say that because...
I'm not saying because I need to know.
No, it hurts me to say that because Kobe was my man, but Kobe was a scoring machine and Kobe was an assassin. But here's the analogy that I throw by a lot of basketball experts. You do understand that when you look at Kobe, you automatically think number 2 at his position.
Right.
Because he emulated Michael Jordan. Right. He just wasn't MJ.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so when you think about LeBron, without question, the greatest small forward that ever played the game of basketball. You look at him 6'9", 260, the versatility, the passing skills, the scoring prowess, and all of those things in between. What he brought to the table, 10 NBA Finals appearances, 4 NBA championships, will retire as the all-time leading scorer in the history of basketball. Shooting, field goal percentage shooting was greater. 3-point percentage shooting was right up there with Kobe's, if not better. All of those things taken into consideration, didn't have Shaq at his disposal, didn't have Phil Jackson as a coach to lean on. All of those things taken into consideration, you look at Kobe without taking anything away from the Black Mamba, one of the greatest ever. You just look at LeBron James as the Mount Rushmore, as a member of the Mount Rushmore of basketball. One of the top 4 or 5 players in the history of basketball. You've never said that about Kobe. What we've said about Kobe is that he's better than everybody but MJ at his position. When we talk about LeBron, we say the best at basketball, period.
He's speaking.
There's a different discussion.
So who's your top?
But the only thing I got to say is about Bron. I hate how people say Bron is not he's not top 3 or whatever, and they point to his losses. But do you realize that he's lost because he got so far? People are bashing him for getting so far and ending up losing. That means he's top 2 instead of top 10. That means number 2 hurts. Don't get me wrong. It hates to be number 2 because you're the first person to lose. You was this close, but there's one team or one player that beat you out. But still, it makes no sense for people to bash Bron for losing in the finals a lot of times instead of like losing in the first round, like times Jordan did, or like even young like Kobe did, and not even making the playoffs some years, like having this trash squad and not even getting over with it. Bron had that trash squad, but he still took them to the finals. That should tell you something. I don't care. You can say he's 4-6 in the finals. Look at the years he's losing. Bro, he's gotten so far in those years he's lost with so many bad teams that it makes no sense for people to bash him for losing, for getting so far.
Mike, LeBron.
I would tell you, MJ, LeBron, Kareem, me personally, I can't take away from Bill Russell and the 11 chips because of the times he was living in and what he had to go through. Black man in Boston, Massachusetts, having to deal with all that he had to deal with. Still not just leading as a player, but then a player coach and winning championship that way. And I would tell you, after I take that into consideration, I'd bring in Irvin Magic Johnson.
What about KD?
KD as a scoring machine talent, yes. KD as a leader, no. You got to remember, Magic Johnson's in L.A. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, Byron Scott, Norm Nixon before him, Michael Cooper, Michael Thompson, all of these cats. Magic Johnson, the greatest point guard, the greatest passer in the history of basketball, was also the greatest leader because he was the one that convinced everybody there's something here for all of us. Do your job, and I do my job, and together we gonna shine and we gonna own this decade. You see, when you look at it from that perspective,
he got a point right there. I ain't think about it like that.
What do you say about KD? I love KD. KD, good people. KD's a phenomenal player and scoring all of that stuff.
KD got that leader
Couldn't
part
get
of
it done in Oklahoma City in large part because you were playing with Russell Westbrook, and we understand what that dynamic entails. You go to Golden State, perfect system for you, back-to-back championships, back-to-back MVPs. I think they would have three-peated easily. They would have swept Toronto with Kawhi Leonard if KD was healthy, all right? But then
I ain't gonna lie, they would have beat him in 5 or 6 games.
You come to Brooklyn, and for some reason, even though I think they would have beat Milwaukee a couple of years ago before Kyrie.
If Clay ain't get hurt, he ain't tear his ACL, Warriors win in 7.
Hurt his ankle, okay?
Clay was
the fact of the matter is when you look
Clay was going berserk. Ain't no way they just had way too much momentum, bro.
At all the turmoil, all the chaos that is taking place. That's part of it, bro. That's part of it. See, we want to act like the leadership element is not a part of it, but you can't win without a team, right? Well, part of it is making sure that your team is intact. Kobe, once he wanted Shaq gone, they trade for Pau Gasol. They lose in the finals to Boston, first go round in 08. They come back, take out Dwight Howard in Orlando in 09. In 10, they avenge their loss to Boston. They win in 7 back in L.A. Kobe's leadership was what galvanized those troops in terms of Andrew Bynum, Gasol, and all of these brothers. Go strong, be hard, stop being a bunch of damn sissies, handle your business. All of this other shit. Leadership plays a role. Without that, you just an individual talent that gives us numbers. But the leadership is what brings you chips.
Right now, you say
well,
leadership.
I think when you talk about leadership, I think people lead in different ways.
I agree.
I feel like Steph Curry is not the leader that's in the locker room like, yo, what you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Steph Curry is like, no, I'm about to go out here and hit 10 threes,
right,
and I'm at 45 points, and y'all follow the train.
Yeah, but they would still lose, right? Like you're saying, because I'm buffering your point. You're right. What I'm saying to you is this. You got Draymond for that, who's a vocal leader. You got other cats that come, that they get assembled. You got Bob Myers, Steve Kerr, all this other stuff.
That's why if they lose Draymond, it's GG's to the dynasty. If I'm Golden State, I am paying him. I don't care. I'm paying him. I'm paying him. You just got to take as much as you could get, as much as you could get as Steph and Clay. If you lose Draymond, it all falls apart.
What they do is enable Steph to be Steph.
And I don't care if you talk about all
and
those
so
triple
Steph
singles
is able to play a role because it's widely understood. He's the untouchable dude. Every year, when the season is over, Draymond Green will tell y'all this. He takes the entire team out to Vegas, right? And it's universally understood. Everybody showing up, everybody gonna party, everybody gonna have a good time. But Steph don't do that. Christian dude, stay at home with the wife and family and all this. He just lives differently. And so because of that, everything evolves around him. Even though he ain't there, they understand there's rules that apply to them and there's rules that apply to him. See, it's that understanding. With KD, what you find is stuff that seems a bit chaotic from time to time. Not this season, but in the past, stuff that seemed chaotic. Who's leading? Who's going to say something? Who's going to stand up? Who's going to be the voice? Who's going to do X, Y, and Z? You got all of these question marks. You don't have those question marks on those teams that have championships. It's universally understood what everybody's role is.
But you don't think...
And quick point about Kyrie and KD this season, why they've been playing good. I feel like Kyrie and KD got a good dynamic of leadership between the two of them, to where as though it's not a one person who's just always being that person to talk, being that vocal leader, being the on-court leader, whatever it is. It's a mesh between the two, and they're able to bring like both sides together and like really help that team become an actual team and actually build chemistry.
Today, and I understand certain teams get it, and certain teams it's about your background, about your upbringing. Yeah. Today, certain people might want to play that role, but they can't because you're dealing with players now that they don't want to listen. They think they Hollywood. Egos. They Instagram popping. They fly. They wear the clothes. They got the cars. They got the jewelry on. So KD might can't always be that guy. Not saying he don't want to be that guy.
It might not be his personality to be that guy.
Well, I'm not. First of all, I'm not asking for one particular personality. I'm just talking about an end result. There's a multitude. Like, for example, what you
KD
just said
and
about
Kyrie
what I said
mesh
about
between
like
them
somebody like MJ scared the living hell out of you. Kobe scared the living hell out of you. Shaq, he was fun-loving. You wanted to do things for him because he was just that dude, and y'all loved him to death, right? Steph is quiet, all right? KD might be a compilation of a multitude of things. We don't know. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is whatever it takes is what you're supposed to do when you're that dude. Y'all got a show here. Y'all doing y'all show. Y'all doing big things. Y'all know what y'all roles are.
Yeah, but
Y'all know, and the people that work around you know what their roles are. If
see,
somebody's out of pocket, it disrupts everything.
Absolutely. And I will say, I agree with you because like that's my position. Like I'm a true leader. Like I'm Michael Jordan. He's Paxson. He's Purdue. So I got to deal with it. You know, he's not on that level yet. So I'm always got to deal with stuff and be a leader. So I understand. I'll be having to take a lot of stuff and be like, okay, I'm gonna handle that.
Now hold up. I just skipped over the football segment and the boxing segment because I know too much of it. So there's not much I had to say. If you want to go watch that, full video link in bio. But for now, we're gonna get into the $1 million worth of game in this video. The real game deal is kicking. So without further ado, let's get right back to it.
Now, you got the book coming out, right?
Yeah, bro.
But outside of the book, I need you to give up some game on $1 million worth of game. There's a lot of young brothers and sisters, you know, minorities, they going to college.
Yeah.
And everybody is getting into journalism, podcasts, and communications. What game could you give them to get to the level of you? Because you got to understand, back in the day, it wasn't too many of yous. That was one that was aggressive and interactive with the players. Like,
hey, even if you're not trying to pursue communication journalism, still kick games, still take some notes. You never know. You never know where you can end up or what you may want to do in time. So still,
it wasn't none of you. So what's the game you get them to get to your level?
Well, the first order of business I want to say is that I'm here. What I mean by that is that when you've been blessed and fortunate enough to be in a position that I'm in, any brother or sister that comes my way and needs my advice or anything like that, I'm here for that. I'm here to help. That's my job, to be honest with you. And I take that very, very seriously. Ain't no brother or sister can come to you and tell you that they came to Stephen A. asking Stephen A. for advice and I ain't give it to him. You know, that's number one. Number two, I would tell you follow the money. And what I mean by that is that we got a lot of people that aspire to walk into the field of journalism, but they may not be paying attention to the landscape that exists. The newspaper industry, from a paper standpoint, is a dying industry. Digital is elevating, which is why they all going the digital route. But when you doing digital, there's a lot of personnel that you may not feel you needed compared to what you needed in years past. And so the visual medium and the spoken medium is also a very, very powerful, because
when the hell was the last time you stopped by a gas station or stopped by the store and you grabbed a newspaper? I ain't never grabbed a newspaper in my life. Never.
People, even though they're interested in reading, the fact of the matter is it doesn't compare to how interested they are in hearing.
I'm surprised.
And seeing. See what I'm saying?
It's all
when
them
you
old
see
heads.
us talking,
Once them old heads get gone, that be gonna get gone too.
it has far more of a profound impact than you just reading something. It's a detachment when you're just reading. But when you visualize or when you hear and visualize, that's really, really potent, and you got to pay attention to that. And the reason why I say follow the money is because that's where the money is, okay? Because that's what's going to inspire you to move forward, because you want to be in a position where you can provide for yourself. Everybody ain't going to do what I did coming up in the industry, where I worked for free to start off my career doing about 4 or 5 internships before I ever got paid. They ain't going to do that now.
Not in this day.
Not in this day and age. They ain't going to do that now because they're looking at avenues, and there's more to be made. The other thing that you got to remember is substance. Like, we're sitting here talking, okay? It didn't take me long to figure out that y'all kind of know what the hell y'all talking about when y'all talking about these damn sports. You got a lot of people that say they want to do shit, but they don't want to put in the work.
Right.
And they don't want to read, they don't want to research, they don't want to listen to people who might know. They want to listen for the purposes of challenging you and make sure, well, let me debate this brother because this is how I feel. Well, no. Like, there's certain positions that you might see me talking. I might have talked about Kyrie one day. I might have talked about Colin Kaepernick another day. I might have talked about Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or something. But I'm in a position to know stuff that the average person doesn't know.
Preaching, bro. Preaching. All these people be all talk, but it do not matter because their actions do not match their words. If your actions do not match your words, They're just thoughts that are a waste of time, a waste of brain energy, a waste of talking. People who always talk, they say, we're going to do this, do this, do this, and do that, and don't do it, I don't even listen to them. Unless I see your actions match your words, I don't care about what you say. I do not care about a single thing that you say unless I see your actions match your words.
So a lot of times that taints my perspective because I might have some inside intel that the average person doesn't have.
Right.
You want to be in a position where you get access to that as much as you possibly can.
Do all this
that
stuff,
way, when you open your mouth,
happens.
they know you know
Right.
what they don't know.
Right.
Or they say they want to do something, and then they don't do anything. They don't put no work in to get it. They don't do nothing. They sit back, relax. Like it's just gonna come to them. This life don't work like that.
At least some of the time. And when that happens, that goes a long way. But I would tell you again, you also pay attention when I say follow the money, because I'm turning around. Like, for example, I work for ESPN. Well, guess what? I'm picking up the Wall Street Journal, or I'm picking up the Hollywood Reporter, or I'm picking up these other publications. Or ESPN might be sold. Ain't nobody here at ESPN tell me that. Nobody at Disney told me that. But I'm seeing the tea leaves. And I'm hearing the noise, and I'm like, okay, well, if that happens, well, who's gonna buy them? You know, you think about Apple, you think about Amazon, you think about these other outlets. You're paying attention to all of this stuff. Why? So many times we get caught up in our business that we don't pay attention to business. Business sometimes influence our business. So if that's what's going on, you got to pay attention to that.
Now, if you're young, the business, a part of your business won't matter so much, because if you're young, it's not really so much about the money. But as you get older, that business side in terms of the money, not your own business, is going to matter even more. Even when you get to college, say you're an athlete in college, the business side of it is really fueled by the money. Scholarship, boom, they give you scholarship money. You underperforming, you could get the boot. They get another player to replace you. Or something along those lines. Like, as you get older, it's going to matter a little more. You in high school, don't matter that much. You get to college, you got to pay to go to school. So now that business, that money side of it is really a factor.
And you got to make sure that you're mindful and aware of some of the minefields that lie in wait. Because a lot of times decisions are made about you that have nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with something that's far and away irrelevant in the grand scheme of things to you. You're just a victim of the circumstances it's dictated.
Yeah.
So it's about knowing your business. It's about following that money. It's about understanding stock prices might have dropped about $13 a few months ago.
$13.
Okay, well, what the hell is it now? Is it elevating now? Why does it matter if it's elevating now? Because all that noise I was hearing about it potentially being sold, suddenly it don't matter right now because it's back up.
Right.
And because the stock prices are where it needs to be, why would you want to give it up?
Right.
Those kind of things that you're thinking about, you're paying attention to all of those different things because it edifies you and positions you to make sure that you making the right decisions. You might have this podcast, a hit podcast, you're doing good things, big things. Boss 2's very happy with you, blah, blah, blah. All this shit's going on. But then Spotify comes, or Stricter, or Apple, or Amazon. Well, we love you too.
They do.
All right? And they, you know, and they offered you this, but we gonna offer you this. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm counting the dollars. But again, it's business. So if you're talking to Stephen A., I ain't just counting the dollars. Okay, I just started my own podcast. Well, guess what? I could have done a podcast for ESPN. I didn't do that. It's on my own. Why? Because I own my masters.
Right.
I own my RSS feed. I have my own content. This is what I do.
See. Now you're talking.
That's right.
When you say RSS feed, people don't know what that means, and I'll be trying to educate people.
Yeah.
You're talking now.
That's
right.
And that's important. And one of the things I want to say, all them people do love us, but this is our family. Barstool is our family, and they understand business, and they educated us about business.
That's right.
And they sock it to our pocket like a
That's
rocket. Right. Follow the money.
That's right.
I want to ask you this, though. Along ago with you doing your thing, and you saying that, I just need to know something that's important, because I don't think people understand it. Because you and him got similar qualities. This dude's a statistician for no reason. He don't get paid to be a statistician. He don't get paid for sports journalism. He just know this shit for no reason. I don't know. He just sit around, watch a game, watch a fight, all this shit. I don't know why, because that's just loser stuff to me.
Right.
Preparation. When the morning come, everybody going to write first take. That night before, Like, how do your life look like? You got your notepad. Like, you got to watch a bunch of stuff to be spitting this stuff. Like, how's it coming to you? How do you prepare for that? For when that camera come on in the morning, how do you prepare for that?
In the same way that you brought up what he does. It comes natural to me. The work that I put in ain't work to me.
Because we love it.
We love it.
If I often tell people, what would I be doing if I were a billionaire? Didn't have to work for a living, just had this money.
You think I'll be sitting here doing all these hidden highlight videos if I didn't genuinely love to watch basketball? That's where you got it messed up. I could do this all day. I done did this for years before I even put this on YouTube. And now I just decided to do it because I was like, oh, I didn't give a lot of gain to a lot of people. So let me just start doing this. Why not? I'll still be doing this if there's no camera turned on, no microphone in front of me, no setup, no nothing. I'll still be doing the same thing. It'll just be kept up within me and given to the people that are closest to me. But now I turn on the camera so I can reach more people.
My bills are going to be paid. My quality of life is going to be where I wanted it to be, et cetera, et cetera. I would be around sports. It's what I love to do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so because of that, it doesn't feel that way. And so what I've told people when I'm on a lecture circuit, I give speeches and stuff like that.
This never feels like work. I just do this. It really just feels fun.
I tell people there's a difference between a job and a career. A job is doing what you have to do to maintain or elevate your quality of life. A career is doing what you want to do. It just so happens to do that too. There's a difference. And so when you have an opportunity to do what you love to do, you'll find yourself doing things you normally wouldn't do. Instead of working 8 hours, you work in 12. You work in 15 and you don't even know it because it didn't feel like work.
And your goal should be in your younger years where you don't have to worry about worrying about money, paying bills, all this extra stuff. Don't try to grow up too fast, because you do that, you're going to start living and having a job. Don't try to stretch yourself out over things that you don't need to take on, weight that you don't need to put on your shoulders currently at the moment. If you don't need to do it, you don't need to do it. Don't try to grow up too fast. Utilize the years that you have while you're young. Be able to find something that you love, so then that as you do get into that job, or in this case, it's a career, you're doing something that you actually enjoy for the rest of your life. And on top of that, you'll be able to expand upon it, evolve on it, do whatever else you want to do, instead of being that person who just has to go to a job, hate that 8 hours that they're working at 5 days a week, and then come back and just be able to hopefully find some sort of vent to be able to help escape what they have to do for those 8 hours. Now, some people have to do it. You got to do what you got to do. But if you're young, you still got time. Utilize the time that you got right now to be able to find your career, find your love, find your passion before it gets too late, and you got to start taking on those real things of life.
He has to ask you to punch a clock. You don't even thinking about punching a clock because it's nothing to you, because you're living it. And when you have that going on for you, you're on the verge of doing something special, because it means you found your calling.
Right.
And that's what it's about. So for me, yesterday's a perfect example. So
facts.
I got 2 daughters. I got to go see them. Daddy's got to spend time with his little girl, but I know these games are on. So guess what? I didn't skip the game. I just went to them and turned on the game. You understand what I'm saying? And I multitasking.
2 birds, 1 stone. 2 birds and 1 stone.
And their whole thing. No, did I watch every single player? Whatever. Well, that's what you got DVRs and everything for. You can rewind that bad boy. Right. You missed a play or whatever. Right. You hear the crowd wrong. What I missed? Rewind it back or whatever. Okay, let me get back to playing with them, giving them their time, talking, whatever. Oh, Daddy, go ahead and finish the game. You know, and they understand. But they come first.
Yeah.
Right.
But the point is that they also know what I love and what I love to do. But it's never ending. There's not. I don't count hours in my day. My mentality is until the job gets done.
Absolutely.
Until the job gets done.
Absolutely. And that's how we are. You know, we went to the Javante Davis fight the other day. We seen a bunch of celebrities there. They all like, yo, we got to get on the podcast. We set up at the hotel right now. You want to do it 3 in the morning?
We don't play.
When you get from the club, we'll be waiting for you.
Yeah,
just call us.
This our life.
We in the conference room at Hotel
I'll
Washington.
be like, these.
3 o'clock in the morning. All right, we schedule you for 3. You can come at 4. Okay, you want to come at 4? 4:30. We don't sleep, because this is about, we trying to make history, and we trying to leave money here for people we never gonna meet.
What kind of history are y'all trying to make, may I ask?
History of this. Everything is possible. You know, go back to the name of your book. You know what I mean? Straight Shooter. You know, a memoir for second chances and first takes. History is already made. I spent 20 years in prison. I've been out of jail 5 years. It's already made. But we add on to it to educate these young people that everybody got a shot out here, man, and you got to believe in yourself. And you know, and there's multiple things that we teach from different perspectives, but one of mine is it costs too much to be a criminal. It's cool to be smart. And the history of having a platform that wasn't out here. We filled the void in the market. Nobody was messing with the young boys. No platform. I don't care who they didn't mess with the young boys, and it was even some of our people from hip hop or black people because they felt as though, oh, them dangerous. They this, F the young boys. They don't. Because they was disconnecting, the young boys might didn't respect them because they wasn't communicating with the young boys. They was talking down to the young boys. So we created something that's making history because we have an outlet for the younger cats to understand and get information from Steve. Why you think I said and asked you, how do they come about doing this? We put information out there, information that the people that the world forgot about is our audience, and they tapping into, and they like, damn, well, I go to a temple. I'm going for communications. I look at their podcasts all the time for whatever they look at it, but now you giving them game. And that's what it's about, the history of creating something that talk to people and give them information, nanosecond messaging. Quick, wherever you're on social media, wherever you're here, where they're able to get digestible information, not this long, drawn-out thing, because we living in a time where as though people attention spans like this.
So short.
You think I got time to be...
That's why TikTok be going crazy. That's why YouTube Shorts be going crazy. That's why Instagram Reels be going crazy. That short form stuff, quick, boom, boom, boom. People love to see that. And that's the best way nowadays. If you're trying to give information, that's why you see me make those 20-second clips, but I still got these full vids. You gotta give information.
Figuring out all this, a person to go to your show, go to any show, and then speed it up to where their team, what they need to hear. Because you know why? It's a battle for attention. I know I got to watch this on Netflix every week. I know I got to watch my team game every week. I know I got to listen to this music. I know I got to watch this podcast. People already got their spaces booked in their life every week, just like you do. Yeah. You got your spaces. So it's like we're trying to create information, whether it's about life, whether it's about relationships, whether it's about staying out of the street game, wherever it was about. That's our history, creating that space for people to come and get information in a nanosecond.
Well, my response to that would be this. I hope you realize that makes you more important than somebody like me.
The same thing Wallow was just saying before. You go so hard because you got a purpose. Y'all see me upload, I ain't miss a day and however long, and I ain't gonna miss a day and so much longer. I'll even double it before I miss a day. I got a vision for this stuff. You gonna see, but I got a vision for this stuff.
Because, see,
it's bigger than just
the path that
watching
I had
hoops
to
and
travel.
the clips and the money. I don't care about that stuff.
Although it was conventional, one of the things that make people uncomfortable, I never went to prison. I never committed crimes.
That's cool.
The reason why, though, is because the criminals were the ones who protected me.
That's how it was back in the day.
In Hollis, I'm from Hollis, Queens.
Right.
I'm from Hollis, Queens.
Yes, sir.
So they see you doing something right, they like, leave him alone.
They, not only that, they slapped me upside my damn head if
your
I
ass to
thought
school.
about doing
Get your
something
ass to school.
wrong.
Right.
Get your ass home.
But that was
get your
what
ass
we
to
grew
school.
up in.
They watched my back, and right? And so my point to you is that you got a lot of cats, and one of the things that I would say to a lot of youngsters out there.
I wasn't protected by them, but it was like I was protected by the people that, like my parents, were just like, do this. And so now I built this image around people as like, oh, he's not the guy to do this and that. So nobody came up to me and was like, oh, try to go do this, try to go do this. Let's come do this. Because they knew who I was and they didn't approach me on that type of timing. Once people know who you are, stay true to who you are. Don't try to do something that's outside of you. Because the second that you try to fit in, you won't fit in. So
as both of y'all are spitting game on everybody, is this. It's very important they understand this. Somebody criticizing what you do is different than criticizing who you are.
Absolutely.
If you see somebody doing something stupid, there's a difference between saying that's stupid
and you're
stupid.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Because if they said you're stupid, you got a right to be offended. You got a right not to want to listen to them. You got a right not to want them in your circle. But if they say to you that's stupid, they're telling you why it's stupid.
Right.
And that way you know what stupid is, and you know how to avoid it, and you don't end up repeating the stupid act that you got called out on the carpet for.
Yes.
And a lot of times, you got a lot of cats that they don't want to listen, and they point to whatever hard life that they had, whatever hard circumstances that they had to endure, not realizing A lot of us did it. Just some of us got away with it and some of us didn't.
Yes. Right.
And at the end of the day, somebody like you guys come along and doing the big things that y'all are doing, it's important that they understand, listen, if they came to me, based on what y'all telling me, if I had cats come to me and they were looking at me right now, Mr. Smith, we want your advice or whatever, I would be like, did you talk to them? Because I can give you this corporate American joint.
Right. Yeah.
And the minefields you got to maneuver your way through.
Yeah.
But if you coming from here, there's a path that you got to travel, and you ain't trying to hear what I have to say until somebody like y'all comes along
Because you gotta
and
reach
says,
there
excuse
first.
me,
You
that's the
gotta get
path
to
you
that
got to
point.
travel before you get to this point. See, and I'm not talking about levels. I'm just talking about a
Yeah.
path. I'm
sorry, don't
my
worry about
bad.
that.
I'm just talking about a path that you got to travel and all of that stuff. And so I just want y'all to know that is very, very important. It's like, it's great that y'all doing big things with this podcast, but I don't want it to be minimized.
Oh, no, it's
I don't want it to be minimized in any way how important it is that y'all are doing what you're doing. And by the way, it's the job of people like myself and others to help y'all be even more successful.
Oh, you do. Y'all always
than
have
y'all
our
are.
clips on it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's our job. It's
And
our
we
job to do
appreciate that, man.
It really
appreciate
is.
that.
It
We
really
appreciate
is.
that.
Everybody could eat. All because you see somebody else big is doing their thing and someone else is doing this. A bunch of people are in a bunch of different lanes. So at the end of the day, if you help somebody out that's not even trying to do what you doing or in direct competition with you, it's never gonna hurt. Cause what you give out is what you're gonna get back. You don't give out nothing, don't expect anything to get back. You don't give out good energy, don't expect any good energy back. It's just how this world works. It's how this life works. It's just how nature works. The type of, especially on your energy, what the energy that you put out is the energy you're gonna get back.
You know, we look up, and a lot of times y'all might use a clip that we had from the show with an athlete, and we appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So
No doubt.
And that's what it's about. And that's why it's like, man, it's just important that we just keep creating. But just you giving that information up, you don't understand how many people that going to school for communications is going to watch this and be like, damn, he gave me the game. He really put the
And
work
there's
in.
all forms of communication.
There's all forms.
You can write, you can talk, you can do a lot of different things in
Content.
communications. You know how many lawyers work in our business? Accountants work in our business?
Yeah.
I mean, there's people from
They all
all
marketing.
professions.
Marketing. Everything
Without
is in sports.
question. Without
Sports
question.
need everything. But
Gotta be
once
one of the
again,
most
listen,
common,
you're going to be in New Jersey
Yeah.
on the 17th of this month. You're
Yes.
going to be at Bookends. I just need to know something. How did you have time to sign 20,000 books, man?
25, actually.
What was you doing?
What happened is that I wrote the book. I wrote it myself. I wrote 90,000 words, and then I had to trim it down to 80 because they said they only had committed to 80,000, but didn't tell me until I wrote 90,000. And they said that
That was so
you know,
much revising, bro.
Barnes and Nobles, Target, Walmart. My bad, man. I appreciate
No,
it. Sorry,
don't worry about it, don't worry about
you know, Barnes and Nobles, Walmart, and Amazon, and Target. Everything they wanted these signatures, and so they wanted signature copies, and they sent me 20,000 originally, and then after I did the 20,000, they came with 5,000 more.
How much time did that take you, man?
Weeks. My arm damn near fell off. Right, I forgot how to write the
my
letter S for
God.
crying out loud.
It
My
was
name is
similar to
Steve
him in
Smith.
jail. His
It's
arm almost fell off.
You know, so I had all of that going on, and I just said, you know what? This, if you're gonna do it right. I was very hesitant to write the book, but I said, you know, if you're gonna do it right,
25,000?
and make sure you go all in, and that's what I did.
And before Steve get out there, I just want to give y'all, don't want to let y'all go, let that go by over your head. If you're going to do something, do it right.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do it right, don't do the shit at all.
Don't do the shit at all.
Don't even waste no time. A lot of times we be all over the place. We want to do something this week, and then, now we off of it this week. We on to something new this week, and then we off of it a month later. Listen, man, find out what you want to do and do it. And do it right. So
That's why I'm telling you, start thinking bigger picture. Start thinking bigger picture. Stop focusing on how you feeling like what you're doing right now. Think about how you're going to feel like if you keep doing what you're doing right now in 5 years from now. It's not just about how you feel in this moment. It's about what you want to work towards. So if you're going to do something and it's something where you want to get to, don't think about the end of it. Think about the start of it and start it right now. Otherwise, you're going to end up regretting what you're doing. So discipline or regret. You choose.
all the youngins out there, you only get one chance to do it right. Do it right the first time. So you don't got to go back and clean up a whole bunch of nonsense. And that was game right there. He said, I ain't really want to do it, but when I decided to do it,
or regret.
I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
And now
That's
we,
the gym for y'all.
You got different perspectives of the game, and coming soon, we got his own show, Gilly on Sports.
Right.
Him, athlete, he gonna have his show. You got to come and get on there. He's gonna be doing his thing because everybody got their different perspectives. There's a big feel out there.
But hold on, before we get out of there too, is you got to vote right on MVP, right?
Well, yes, I do. I just told you, I'm up in the air right now.
Why you up in
Up
the
in the
air
air right
the
now?
season is
Patrick
over,
Mahomes
Steve.
or Jalen Hurts?
Steve, the
What is
season
it?
is
It's
over,
over. It's over.
Steve.
You know Charlie Mack?
Yeah, we know Charlie.
I know
Charlie.
Man,
Yeah,
listen, man.
I know. Tell his
Nobody
lineup.
gets on my damn nerves about
I'ma tell
Philly
him to tell your
more
lineup.
than him.
Tell your lineup.
I mean, he texting. Call me with his son in the car. Call
Talking
me
crazy
everything.
to you.
Just talking shit.
You know what I posted up with Steve when you had your top 5 and I posted you up on Charlie hit me, get his ass, Gilly.
yeah.
He did. He called me while I was on the air. I said, "You do know I'm on the air, right? I'm on the air, damn it." You know, but that's Charlie, man. He and I go back a quarter century.
He's gonna work.
bro.
He's gonna work for Jalen.
Just,
He's
man,
gonna
just weigh that vote, man. Just come on,
You know
man.
what? I would tell you this. Y'all just better win, man. Y'all just better win.
Okay, so
seriously.
so if we go to the Super Bowl
Yeah.
and Patrick Mahomes don't.
What that got to do with anything? The regular MVP of the
over.
regular season?
But I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. What that got to do with the price of
That,
tea in China?
that would really
Ain't
look
got nothing to do with
crazy.
it.
But
That's weeks later.
No, I'm just saying. That would really look crazy, though.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
No, it wouldn't.
Because
You gotta remember, primarily it's me covering the NBA. You know how many times I voted for MVP that wasn't in the finals?
No, but no,
It
this is a
happens.
little different. No.
Can't be worried about that. You trying to make your rules just
Before
to
we
make
get
it
out
go.
of here,
Yeah,
though,
that's what you trying to do.
But listen, before we get out of here,
Yeah.
Hey, you
how
trying
many
to get
games
that
are
vote.
Colorado primetime Colorado gonna win this year?
I have no idea because
Come
I'm.
on,
Listen, I tell you this much, they ain't going 1-11 like they did without him.
Oh yeah, without
They'll
a
be
doubt.
better than that.
They
I would.
Hey, bro. You know who was not happy about that? Dr. Umar, bro. Dr. Umar. He said,
Tell you this,
He
I-
said he gonna get what, 50,000 lashes for that?
think I'm gonna give Prime 3 years
1 in
before
11.
he's in the national championship picture.
And
Because
I'm,
remember, by that time they're
They much
extending.
further down.
You
the
see his
playoffs,
playoffs.
recruit.
top
You see
12
that? You see his
teams.
recruiting
I'm
class.
just saying. I'm gonna get, but I'm just throwing a cushion out. It could be earlier, but I'm gonna give him 3 years. They're gonna improve each year, and I'm gonna give him 3 years before he's in the national championship picture. Those top 12 teams, because they extended the playoff picture from 4 to 12,
Yes, they
12
are.
teams, and I think I'm gonna give him 3 years before he's in that picture. That's what I'm gonna do.
And I'm going to go on the record right now and say Colorado is going to win at least 6 games next year and be in a bowl game.
I hope you're right.
I'm going to go on the
I hope
record.
you're right, 'cause
and Shador Sanders is going to be drafted in the top 10. I'm going on the record right now.
I'm pretty pissed off at how Prime and I go back a long ways. That's my brother, and I was pretty pissed off at how he was treated by a lot of people at HBCUs.
I'ma say this.
when he left. That was.
Can I say this? Hold up.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this.
Dr. Umar.
We go down to Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
This before everybody got on the was all hype. Before people
Okay.
saying they're gonna donate money.
We
and
was
do
at the
this
first
stuff.
game.
We was there with Prime been our guy for years.
Okay.
Brung him to bar stool. This is our OG.
Okay.
We down there. First time we get to Jackson, it ain't no water. We walk into the hotel. Prime and the team is in the pool washing up. There's no water
At the hotel.
at the hotel. So we go over to the what's the name? Not saying it. We go over to the what's the name. He said, "Man, I got to fix this gym. I'm gonna spend it." I'm telling we personally there.
Right.
This before the popularity came and everybody going down there like they really was.
You know, cool.
He like, I got to do this. I'm gonna upgrade the gym.
Is that even a shower? Is that even a shower? You know, you just putting all your dirt back into the water. Not on top of that, it's everybody dirt going back into the water. That's tough.
I'm out really being a father down there to these kids, really adding value, bring all his relationships to the school to bring value to HBCU like never before. Mark millions of dollars worth of marketing.
Yeah.
He did his job. He did a great job. He brung something there. Who gonna step up next? It's about stepping up. You see what I'm saying? Like,
He ain't
and I
the
think
only one that can
sometimes
step
with
up.
us,
He ain't the only one.
I love us, but I know us. Charlamagne.
You know what I hate? Everybody gonna criticize him, say he should have did this, he shouldn't have left, he should have did this. But there's people out there who are criticizing him who could do the same exact thing that he did. Maybe not the same exact thing in the same magnitude, but could go out there and make change instead of sitting back criticizing him. Or you could do the same thing that he did, something similar to what he just did. That's what don't make sense to me.
That's
right. How much do your words even mean? If you're capable, if you have those resources, if you have the connections to be able to do something like that, but you're not doing it, that already tells me enough about you.
Understand this.
We do this bullshit to each other all the time.
We kick ourselves down so much, and it's
like we do it to each other all the time.
We don't have no idea what we should be in life. Is what you want me to do, and if I don't do what you want me to do, I'm a sellout. I'm this. I'm that. I'm this. I'm that. But you ain't taking my journey, and ain't nobody go down there. Ain't nobody else step up.
Here's the deal. Let me say this. Let me close by saying this.
People never want to look in the mirror.
Shout out to Jackson State.
Number one, if you are a person at Jackson State or at Talladega or wherever it is that knew him and helped facilitate him getting the Jackson State job, and you have any kind of salty feelings about him, that's your prerogative.
Yeah.
That's not bigger than the mission.
No.
See, see, we gotta stop. I'm talking about as black people. We gotta stop this bullshit. We gotta stop being at a point where I might disagree with you on this particular issue.
Shout out my boy Trey.
I might not have flowed this way on that particular issue, and all of a sudden that's a license to character assassinate you.
No.
Yeah.
No, we have a disagreement about this. But at the end of the day, you're talking to a brother that I'm an ambassador for HBCU Week. I've generated over 12,000 scholarships, in excess of $25 million in scholarships for black kids to go to HBCUs. It's near and dear to my heart. I'm a graduate of Winston-Salem State University, and I don't give a damn what I did. It's nothing compared to what Primetime did for HBCUs. It's nothing compared to what Chris Paul, who didn't even attend an HBCU,
Charles Barkley,
Kevin Durant, Steph Curry,
Curry,
LeBron, Melo. These cats and what they've done to bring attention to generate revenue for HBCUs. I don't want to hear anybody like you.
Especially if you're not doing that.
And then the first dude.
Like I said, bro, the thing that pisses me off the most about this is people who do nothing that want to criticize and say you should do even more and more and more and more. But you the same person who ain't do nothing. So how much can you even talk? It's not even just about this in general. If you telling somebody they should do this, you can get going forward. But you the same person just sitting there talking and not doing nothing, whereas you're capable of doing something, and you doing nothing. I don't even want to hear those words.
From an HBCU to go and get a job at a Big 5 school, the brother won at Jackson State, generated prestige and revenue for your program. And not only that, he's opened the floodgates for somebody to come in there and follow him and duplicate his feat. But it goes to a bigger issue that you're talking about, because I certainly hear this all the time. You got cats calling me all out my name and all of this other shit. I ain't no black man, I'm a brother. And for people to come at me like that, nothing pisses me off more, because you're falling right in line of how folks want you to be. Because you disagree with me on this.
On sports.
On this. All right. Now you ignoring all the other shit that I've done just because of this. This is what we do to each other. And what you're going to find, unfortunately, fellas, is that as you continue to climb.
I already know.
And then you're there, but it's coming even more. They're gonna sit up there and you on this, you over the airwaves, supporting us, fighting for us, agreeing with us 99% of the time. No. The 1% that you disagree,
I ain't shit.
You ain't shit. Just wait for it.
You know
my advice to you,
I'm already on point.
My advice to you, not that you need it, my advice to you is, first of all, 95% of the time, I don't even read what these clowns say.
Right.
I don't pay no attention, because I'm marching forward.
Absolutely.
Because the mission is greater than that bullshit.
Absolutely.
Just remember that.
And I'm like a horse with the blinders on. I don't see the bullshit. I only see in front of me.
That's right.
But
bullshit
as you say,
be slapping the blinders.
On this show.
I don't see it.
On this show.
Every now and then it's all right to see it, though. Just to slap back, just to let people know that's what you're capable of.
No,
and then you back up.
You know what's so crazy, Steve?
Yeah.
I never see it. He sees everything.
Yeah.
I'm on point.
He sees everything. No. I just live in my own world. I just want to
Because sometimes you need to know who your haters is. Because what happened is, something that happened, Steve, and then you had all type of people chiming in, and then they try to pull back.
That's right.
When they see you ain't fall, so they could be still being good standards.
I remember what you tried.
I know everybody that tries some slick shit.
Tried.
I watch everything.
I remember what you
tried.
And
he know, but that's why you got to disconnect. But I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
On this show, we got a new book coming out, Straight Shooters, a memoir. And outside of the book, he made a commitment on this show that you go get the book that he will, for MVP, he will be voting for Jalen Hurts. So that's already done. We got one vote already.
Oh, man.
He said it. He told. He
Come
said.
on, man.
Hey, bro, they got to
we
do
was
the
like,
best to sway the votes.
so we got that locked in, y'all. Just keep pumping for Jalen Hurts. The Eagles is going
not
down.
true, but okay.
But once again,
Right.
if you want to catch, if you in the East Coast, New Jersey, I'm talking about bookends, you want to catch Stephen A. Smith, you want to argue with him about sports, you go get a signed book. He's going to be at Bookends in Ridgewood, New Jersey on the 17th. The book come out on the 17th. Make sure you go get his book. It's going to be online. It's going to be, but you want to see him, if you on the East Coast, go check him out. Go argue with him about his teams and whatever.
Can I add this? I'm also be at Barnes & Nobles in Midtown in New York City, on 18th.
On 18th.
Why is that relevant? When I graduated from high school and I went to FIT for a year before I went down to Winston-Salem State, I was a book clerk at that store.
That's major. And you're going back to show him. And guess what? You also, listen, No Mercy, check out his podcast 3 times a week. It's 3 times a week.
Working.
Yo, do you know what?
He working.
Bro, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And the show, first, you don't, how do you sleep? Do you sleep?
You know what? It's just I'm trying to transition from just doing sports. I talk politics, news.
Yeah, you talk everything on
all
there.
of that stuff. I just didn't want any limitations because so many opportunities have come my way. I'm just opening the floodgates for that right now, and who knows what the future's going to hold as it entails.
But where's the sleep?
He ain't turning down nothing but his collar.
I get a good 6 hours sleep a night.
Okay.
You know, as we get old, you know, we pop up every day 4:30. God, you ain't taking
Thank you, God. We still here. Thank you, God.
So listen, make sure y'all pop up on him. You're an old lady in a Cowboys jersey. You want to throw some jabs and hooks at him.
Get him.
Make sure you pop up on him and hit him with a couple hooks to the body.
I know I'm gonna see y'all at the fight if that fight happens.
Yeah,
I know y'all
It's
gonna be
happening.
there.
It's happening. We
I
gonna
got
be
to be
there.
there for
Absolutely.
We gonna be
that. I
there,
still
baby.
missed. Last fight I was at was Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury 3.
One more question. Earl Spence or Jerron Boots Ennis?
I like tennis.
Jerron Boots.
I need get to the mic. Get back on the mic.
Right now, I would go with Ennis. I would go with Errol Spence, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Ennis is the future. Ennis is the future. If Errol Spence going to fight him, it needs to be quick. Ennis ain't slipping. He getting better and better. And not only that, he can go either way. He can go conventional. He can go southpaw. He got power in either hands. He got quickness. He knows how to be aggressive. I like Ennis a lot.
Me too.
A lot.
Me too.
I really do. I think he's the future.
You know, we got him in Philly. We got Cool Boy Steph. We got a squad of boxers in
I
Philly.
will tell you this about Ennis too that I would like to say. I watched him the other night. He won an undercard of Devontae Davis. I will say this about him. You know there was somebody special when it's somebody that answers the call, when they know that dude and everybody's expecting something. Like he don't walk into a ring and cheat you.
No.
He gives you what you expected him to give you.
Absolutely. He come to fight.
That is what a star is made of. You got a lot of fighters that are really, really good. Danny Garcia.
Yes.
Very, very,
Yes.
very good.
Danny.
But there's levels. And I think Boots Ennis, I think he's one of those dudes.
I already know
I
much
think he's
about
one of
boxing.
those dudes.
I'm listening. I might
Boots
catch
Ennis
up,
is the
though.
future. Jalen Hurts is the MVP. You heard
He
it
said
right
it.
here
Right
from
here. He
Stephen A.
said it.
Smith. You heard him. And it's just like that.
Right.
And it's just like that. We done, man. Full podcast reaction. Another podcast video dropping very soon. Actually, maybe even tomorrow. So make sure you check that out. Like I said, subscribe, like, turn on notifications, hit that highlights. The video's still coming. Subscribe on Twitch, Pat DOR. This coming live very soon. Very soon. Sooner than you think. And we out of here.